Good morning, everybody. We are back again for another weekly roundup and overview on the markets and to see what's going on. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of November, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, my time. You've been a bit busy this week, so yeah, it's a Wednesday one this week, unfortunately, but the markets have been a bit stale. They haven't really done much this week anyway, so yeah, it doesn't really matter because nothing much has happened this week so far. But as always, we're going to start on the euro against the pound, and yeah, last week we've seen a drop back in price, as you can see. This hasn't been a favourable pair to trade for me, as I've said the last couple of weeks. I'm waiting to see if it breaks above this resistance zone here at 88 cents. So yeah, I mean, that setup there looks quite nice to me, like of today's open. So price has come down, we've had a pullback in price, we've hit the moving average and rejected from it. Yesterday's candle finished as a doji or a hammer candle, 50%, so that would have been a nice entry. You could gain a nice little trade off here with a smallish stop loss. You could get 50, 100 pips on a nice intraday trade, possible turning back up to these highs here. So if you did want to trade that pair, you could have took that trade today, but it's not something I'm trading at the moment, as I'm still holding all the other positions that we've been over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, unfortunately, there's not much else on EURGBP, as I prefer to wait for it to come back down to this demand zone or these imbalances here, or break above this zone to buy on a retest if we continue in this bullish move. But yeah, if you're an intraday trader, that would have been a nice trade to take today on this candle open here. I mean, you could still get in now because we're only a few pips above the open of the candle. So yeah, so that would have been my call on EURGBP, but for us following this, we're going to wait for now. Yeah, so with that pair covered, we'll move over to GBPJPY, and this would coincide with the EUROGBP. So as we can see, price came back down and hit the 100 moving average on GJ, and we've since seen a reaction from that, and it's created a nice demand zone there. We've seen price come up, and it's just tapped into this supply zone here yesterday and created a nice daily doji 50% candle. So you know, that could have been a nice little intraday sell from today's open here. So a little bit of weakness on the pound for a drop back in price, but again, both pairs are in positions where they are in the market where it's not favourable for me to trade at the minute. I like to get a more solid trade on at these higher supply zones or these lower demand zones. You know, as you can see, we've had multiple candles here which stretch back over a week or two that haven't really gone anywhere, especially when you compare it to these types of candles where in a day they're moving a few hundred pips. So it's best to stay out of the market when it's in this type of condition. Yeah, so we're better off waiting for it to break, and then we can react to a better move and hopefully get more of a return in that sense. So yeah, we'll move on from that pair for now. So we'll just wait. I mean, like I say, you could take a sell here if you're intraday trading, catching a few pips in and out. But yeah, we'll wait for a longer term trade on the pound against the yen. So with that pair covered, we'll move over to EURAUD. Again, this is another pair. As I was saying last week, all haven't really changed much. It's in a bit of a strange position, caught right at the top here, getting squeezed into this corner. You know, I'd like to see a break above this supply. I've had this zone marked out for a couple of weeks now, or last week was it? Yeah, I'd like to see that hit and broken, carry on with the trend. The moving average is starting to point upwards, and we are trading well above it, so it is suggesting it's going to be bullish continuation possibly. But yeah, I'd like to see a break of all this horrible price action here, because this just looks like, yeah, it doesn't look nice to trade really. It's just a horrible price action. So we'll wait on EURAUD for a break above, and yeah, and then we'll catch the continuation on the next higher low made if it breaks above the supply zone here. Yeah, so we'll just wait and see on EURAUD. So with that pair covered, we'll move over to GBPUSD. This is a position that we're holding still. I can start to delete some of these drawings now to make the chart look a bit clearer. So as I was saying a few weeks ago, similar to that one, I didn't want this to be a fake breakout. It looked like it was possibly going to be, but we continued on in our trend. So I'm going to delete this circle here, this one here, as there's no need to look at that anymore. Make it a little bit clearer. We can delete this line here because that resistance is broken. We've got a nice trend line going up here. I'll delete these little drawings so it makes it look a bit cleaner. We could have a look at price action. As you can see, when I drew out these zones here, I was looking for the next higher high to break that. I think I drew that out a couple of weeks ago maybe, and it hit that, and it didn't even drop back since then. It's made a higher high, even higher here. So the higher highs around here, and we can take this out now. So we know what we're working with, look a bit cleaner. So if we duplicate this, get a nice higher low created here, possibly, maybe even round about here. As we're trading above the 100 moving average now, yeah, we want to stay moving above the moving average, create another higher low, possibly price may come down, and use the 100 moving average as dynamic support, and then obviously we can continue in our bullish run as the dollar does look like it's starting to weaken now. I think there's some data coming out today if I'm correct, so I'll have a look at FOREX Factory quickly today, calendar today, filter. We've got some pound data coming out today, which is manufacturing PMI, and some euro. The NZD's already happened my time, so yeah, there's some big news coming out for the pound today. So I can imagine we'll see some movement on that, whether it's good or bad. If it's bad, I can see we might even dip below the moving average if it's bad data, and create a higher low there, and then tomorrow we might continue the bullish trend that we're in at the moment. But in terms of profit, we are currently 1,140 pips in profit, so we are well above 1,100. So we're pretty much 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio where price sits currently. So as I was saying and showing you last time, moving your stop losses underneath the swing low. So the my stop loss currently is under this swing low here, which is over 2-to-1, I think it is, risk to reward. And then obviously after today's data, when it comes out, if it's bad and we do create another higher low, a higher low here, which will be a nice swing low, and then we continue, then hopefully it will be around this zone here. We can move our stop loss up even further, and then we can continue as we go on along the trend. So yeah, let's look out for the data that's going to come out today, and then we can evaluate what to do next, whether we to close a position or just continue to hold on GBPUSD. Okay, so with that pair covered, we'll move over to EURUSD. And as I was saying, that pushed up really nicely because it was the negative correlation to the dollar. And obviously the dollar's weak, so EURUSD is having a nice push up. I was looking for price to come back down to this little zone here, but we just didn't make it. So I'm going to continue to wait to jump in on this one now. As I say, there's a lot of news this week, I think, regarding dollar and the pound and euro. So if we do see a pullback and hit this zone, then I'll be ready and waiting. So do the same. Yeah, like I say, we're trading above the 100 moving average now. we can get our higher lows created and give us an opportunity to continue and buying on the bullish trend, hopefully, because if it does turn, we've got a long way to go. You know, it's been bearish for so long. If we look at the weekly candle, we've been bearish for a long time. We are very low. You know, it's been as high as 1.6 in 2008. And we've just dropped lower ever since. It has been lower way back in the day, 20 years ago, but obviously where price currently is, it's at a low price, so there's a chance of a nice long-term bullish trend to kick in, but you know, it's all depending on what happens with the dollar. So yeah, all we can do is try and jump on any trends that we can see forming and make some pips. So that's what I'm looking out for in EURUSD. I'll see what the data does today, and then we'll look accordingly over the next couple of days. It can drop back in price, touch here, and then go. So with that pair covered, we'll move to gold. And there's another pair that I'm holding. Currently we are 1,100 pips, pretty similar to GU, but we have peaked at, I did a post on this if you see my channel, 1,500 pips plus. We're almost hit our first TP zone here. But as you can see, price made a little supply, met a little supply area here. I think it's this one. It'll probably be a 4-hour supply zone, that I would imagine, if we were to look back. Tapped into that, and then we've made a pullback ever since, but it was a strong push upwards, so we were expecting a pullback. I mean, even at least 50% for price to come back, especially on that big strong move, something like that. So yeah, you know, it's pretty natural to see a pullback in price, so there's nothing to worry about. Again, we're just probably making a higher low here, again trading above the 100 moving average, and then look to continue on our trend. Yeah, we can continue to hold. As I said last week, my stop loss is under this swing low here, and do the same as always. Once if we do continue in this trend now, and then we break this high here, we can move the stop loss up to this swing low, and then continue as we go along in the trend. So yeah, I mean, it's nice watching what plays out with all the news events and stuff like that. And once you are in a profitable position and if you've locked your profits in, it's really nice to be stress free and watching what happens with price without having to worry about anything, as you've locked in your profits already. And this was a great trade because we got a nice risk to reward ratio. As I say, when I took this buyback here on this one, I was a little bit too quick to take it. I should have waited, so we got stopped out on that one. But as I say, it was only 1%, and we've more than enough made it back already, and we've more than enough got that locked in on this trade. So you know, nice and stress-free trading, which is what you want to be doing. Okay, so with that pair covered, we'll just have a look at the dollar and just see where it's going. And as I said, I drew out that circle last week, and weirdly enough, it tapped right into it, and then we've dropped back since. So yeah, we did tap into a big weekly demand zone on the dollar. We've made a lower high now, and we're looking for some further down momentum. So it's pretty simple on the dollar. Yeah, I'd like to see if this weekly demand zone breaks, then we start moving lower. Then it's going to be great for our trades that we're holding. So yeah, all eyes on the dollar. What's going to happen at this zone here around 106, 106.5 area, and if we can break down to 104, then we're looking good on our trades. Okay, so with that pair covered, we will just have a quick look at the cryptos. So we'll first have a look at Bitcoin, and as you can see, we had that big drop down. We broke that demand zone that held for such a long time, but we've now tapped into a weekly demand zone here. As you can see, it reacted as soon as it came into this zone, and we got a big pullback in price. That's quite a big pullback. Gradually, we've pulled back in price. Oh, pardon me. And yeah, so let's see what happens at Bitcoin here. I think this would be a nice zone to buy from. If we can tap back into it and get a nice 50% candle. Bit of sideways movement. I think people are expecting it to go down to the 13, which it might possibly do. So we'll just wait and see for a couple of weeks now. Just to see what happens with price, really. I mean, we're still low. It's still a great place to buy in at Bitcoin. At these low prices, because if you're going to hold, if you're going to actually buy Bitcoin to hold in your wallet, then you're going to hold it for at least a year or two until we get back up to those highs, and you're going to at least triple, quadruple your money when you buy down here at 15, 16,000. Especially at 13,000, that's a great price. So yeah, at the moment it's looking bearish still. But I would like to see this 15, 16k demand zone hold and get a reverse in price. But because as I say, the dollar's looking weak, so you can't really blame it on how strong the dollar is at the moment and all the news what's going on in America with inflation and stuff like that, because it's starting to drop back now. So this is like small crypto fundamentals and stuff like that. All the whales shaking out the big exchanges and things like that are popping off. I think when we come into this next bull market, there's only going to be a couple of big players that are still surviving and that haven't closed down, and they're gonna profit big time off it. And I think the people like us, if we buy and hold, we're gonna profit big time. I mean, all the big guys, the big players in Wall Street and the rich guys, they say, your money's made in a bear market when you buy, so let's just do what they tell us and buy now in a bear market. Like everyone's like, oh, it could go lower, so what if it goes lower? Let's buy some more. Buy now and then hold and wait. And that patience is what pays. That patience is what pays in the end. So yeah, don't be afraid to buy don't be afraid to buy just because it's low in price and it looks bearish. This is the time to buy for me. When you're holding long term, anyway, not in a trade, obviously, because we need to have certain aspects to trade. But in terms of actually buying it physically and holding in your crypto wallet, it's definitely a time to buy, for sure. So with that covered, we'll just have a quick look at Ethereum, and it's pretty much the same. We've dropped back in price, but again, we've still not hit this low that we made back in June, which is a good sign, as I said last week, and I've said a few weeks in a row now. I mean, if it does come back down here, I'll be buying some more Ethereum for sure. I mean, under £1,000 is still a good price, but if it does come back down to the price where I bought originally, then I'll be buying some more for sure, because 970 compared to 700, that's like a 25% drop in price value, so you get more for your money. So I'm happy to hold what I bought at the moment. If it does come back down again, I will double up on what I bought last time, in preparation for the next bull market that could possibly happen next year. So that's pretty much it for this week, everybody. It's pretty similar to last week, unfortunately, if you're new following the channel. No real new trades that I could give out, really. The markets have been a bit stale the last few days. As I say, it's waiting for the data to come out this week, and it's going to react, I'd say today, tomorrow, over the next few days. And then we can look to jump on some of those trades. If you follow my social media profiles, Instagram, Facebook, we've got a Facebook page. I post my charts on there, and actually also on YouTube, I've got the ability to post pictures now on the feed. So if the data does kick off where we could grab a position after today, then I'll post a picture about it, and then give you a chance to enter and catch on those trades. So you don't have to wait for the weekly video that comes out. So make sure you're following all of those to keep up to date with anything that I send out. And and I will see you again for next week's video. Cheers, everyone. Take care.